Greetings, viewers. EricTheCarGuy here, and I am in Las Vegas, Nevada at the SEMA show. And for those of you not familiar, that's the Specialty Equipment Marketing Association. Why they don't have a convention with that, I have no idea. That being said, I'd like to give a special shout out to Longevity Welding for helping to make this trip possible. Now let's talk about what's here. There is so much stuff here, it is literally overwhelming. I'm on sensory overload. Every place I look, there's something amazing. I'm standing in the midst of amazing things, and I haven't even gone inside yet. I've never been to SEMA. This is my first time here, 2014, by the way. And if it's your first time to SEMA, well, welcome along. Anyway, why don't we go inside and see what we can see. It was my first time to Las Vegas. It was my first time to SEMA. And to say that the experience has been life-changing would be something of an understatement. I've met some of the greatest people. I have seen some of the most incredible works of art, is the only word I can choose to describe them. I can barely put into words my experience at SEMA here in 2014, my first experience with it, and it's something that, you can't experience something for the first time more than once. I'll be much wiser next time when I come. But that being said, I feel like I've been welcomed into car culture with open arms. As I said, the people I've met, and some of my heroes, Chip Foose being at the top of that list, I got to meet him twice, not just once. It was just amazing to see the dedication he has to his fans and how hard he works. I mean, his work speaks for itself. His work is first rate, is barely able to cut it. But, I mean, the man's a true artist, without a doubt, in more ways than one. But the fact that he's willing to take his time to shake your hand and to smile and give you encouragement, it's inspiring to me. And if I'm going to aspire to be like somebody, I would like to be like that and that approachable. I only wish I had his level of talent, but I have different talents. That being said, he was definitely the hardest working person there. Just met the man. I just met the man. I'm a little goosebumpy. I need a minute. Rutledge Wood. I got a chance to meet him also. It was a brief meeting, and it's hard to describe that one because I had the impression that he might know me because we've had exchanges on Twitter in the past, but then I have to realize the thousands of people that these celebrities come in contact with. So it's difficult to remember all of them. And also, it's strange because as EricTheCarGuy, I'm not often recognized in public, and to be honest, that's okay with me. It allows me to have something of a life because when I think of somebody like Chip Foose, he can't walk 5 feet without somebody saying, hey, you're great, you're awesome. Is that a bad thing? No, but if you're trying to get somewhere, it can be challenging. But Rutledge, just a happy, smiley guy. I mean, he's every bit just the goofball that he... Well, at least in the 15 seconds I got a chance to introduce myself to him, that he appears to be on TV. But it became sort of a joke because I'd be walking around SEMA, and I'd met him at one of the booths or whatever that he was signing autographs at. I met him, and then was someplace else entirely different in the show, and he was there also. And then I think that happened on 3 different occasions, and I just came up with a phrase, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting Rutledge Wood at SEMA 2014. And then there was Kaufman, who I would have loved to have struck up a conversation with, just because he's a talent and a force to be reckoned with on his own. And I think picking his brain a little bit and trying to figure out how he deals with his fame would have been really, really cool. But the guy, once again, also a true artist in what he does. Here's the thing that happens with SEMA, at least this is what happened with me, and I would suspect it would happen to anyone. Just walking in, there are amazing machines and pieces of art that people have created and put together, put their heart, soul, their time and effort into, probably countless sleepless nights. and I can see that craftsmanship. I can see that effort. And I'm just looking at one vehicle. I mean, every single detail, and everybody's bringing their A game and then some. And everybody's trying to push the bar. Everybody's trying to be noticed. And the thing is, you look at one machine, and then you look to your left, to your right, or even behind you, and there's another one, and another one, and another one. And it quite literally goes on for miles and miles and miles. There's this whole blue section here we haven't seen, or this whole purple section, or any of the upstairs, or any of the stuff on the outside. Well, we saw some of the stuff in the parking lot when we came in. There's still plenty to see at SEMA. Plenty to see. You will not see it all. Don't just give up the expectation that you're going to see it all now, because it's just not going to happen. No matter how many days you have to come back here for years and years. And you just wonder, you know, were there this many cool cars like this and trucks on the planet? And then somehow they all managed to come together in this one place in Las Vegas, Nevada, and everybody gets together and celebrates it. It's one big party. We all walk around with our badges indicating who we are, and that's part of the greeting at SEMA, is they're going to look down at your badge to find out who you are. If it says buyer, you're at a booth, they're really going to want to talk to you. But that being said, getting back to just the sheer volume of wonderful work, of just gorgeous examples of what can be done with metal and machines and engines and transmissions, and the noise, the cacophony as you walk around, fantastic. And I can't forget, speaking of noise and cacophony, my ride-along, which was completely random, out of the blue. Tweeting, and thanks to Charles Sandville, aka the Humble Mechanic, for teaching me how to use Twitter better. But all I did was put the right hashtag in, and I happened to be the grand prize winner of a Ford ride-along. And next thing I know, well, the next day, I was in an AC Cobra doing donuts in front of a huge crowd of people at SEMA, and a cloud of burning rubber and noise. It was a celebration. SEMA is a celebration of all things automotive, and all the people that work all year to do this, to bring you. SEMA is really about what's coming next year, and the manufacturers and the distributors all coming together to figure out how they're going to get it to you. That's ultimately what it is. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, the booths, the everything, and they all want your attention. They all look for something to vie for your attention. Were there pretty girls there? Yes, indeed, there were pretty girls there, and that was one of the tactics that many of these places had used, and especially over in the tire section. Getting back to celebrities, there were a couple that I didn't get a chance to meet that I wished I had, and one in particular was Jessie Coombs. She is, I don't know if you know anything about her, but she's a technician, welder, just an amazing fabricator mechanic in her own right. And, you know, I almost, it's painful to say this because I like to think as men and women as being equally capable, but it's inescapable of the fact that they're different creatures. But that being said, it's nice to see a woman like that not have to be scantily clad and be able to just show off what she can do as a technician, as somebody who does this type of work. And I'd like to see more of that, if I'm honest, because I've got a daughter who has an interest in that, and I don't want her to think that it's just a boys' game. I want her to think that if she feels it and she wants to do it, that she can do whatever she wants to do. And, you know, it's not just a boys' game, like I said. Ermey from Full Metal Jacket, and I'm sure you've seen me. He's also had a couple of shows on television that I can think of. But yeah, the sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. That would have been cool to see. Off-roading was big at SEMA this year. That was mentioned. So there were a lot of trucks, a lot of truck-like things, a lot of just giant vehicles that looked like they were ready to just tear something like Mad Max-looking stuff that you could go out into the desert with. And I'm glad I'm doing this now because it's difficult to process all of the things that I've seen. It's difficult to go back and say, oh yeah, I remember that one. I'm actually going to have to go back and look at some of the pictures that I took and some of the video footage just to see what's there, because there's just so much. So if you ever have the opportunity as a car guy or girl to go to SEMA, I would strongly recommend it. It has to be on your bucket list. It is the ultimate car show, ultimate, celebrity fan fest. Just, it's the ultimate car, automotive everything, not just cars. Like I said, the trucks were really strong this year, from what I'm told, as compared to previous years. But some pretty cool stuff. I have to thank Simon Katz from Longevity Welding for helping to get me out here and making this whole trip to SEMA possible. Hanging out with his crew, Daniel and Joel, at the booth, it gave me a different SEMA experience. It was more like what the vendors might go through. I mean, they're standing in one place all day trying to sell their wares to get your attention, as I mentioned. And these guys work pretty hard at it. And Joel, you're a legend, man. And I'm not going to say why, but you're a legend. Having that experience and having the fans, that was my opportunity to meet some of the fans at SEMA that were able to make it out and stop by the booth, just shake my hand and take pictures. That was pretty stinking cool. I mean, Eric the Car Guy fans make me who I am, and I love each and every one of you out there. You're all very special to me, and I know that I would not be doing this without you. It blows my mind whenever I think about it. 7 years ago I was nobody, and now I get to be Eric the Car Guy at SEMA and meet these amazing people, see these amazing things, and just have this incredible experience. That's about all I can say. SEMA 2014. This is the end. And I've got to say, it feels like it's only the beginning. I have had an amazing experience here at SEMA and Las Vegas. I can barely put into words everything. But I'm going to try. And that's why we have video, because they say pictures are worth 1,000 words, and I'm doing 60 a second here. So that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this special presentation from Eric the Car Guy. And I certainly enjoyed making it, and I certainly want to come back here because I have seen some really cool stuff. Anyway, we close now with be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. I'll see you next time.